I've had a few people ask me this question, so I figured it was time to do a bit of a video blog on it. And it's the question of, I'm an unfaithful spouse, Samuel. I've done everything that I know to do. Like, I'm trying to do this, that, and the other. I'm reading books. I'm watching your video blog. I'm seeing a therapist. I'm either doing a course on the website or considering it or what have you. But my betrayed spouse won't get help. Now, it's a very tough spot to be in, similar to the betrayed spouse who's doing everything that they can do, but the unfaithful spouse won't do any work. And that's another blog for another time. When you're dealing as an unfaithful spouse, when you are facing the reality that your spouse who's betrayed won't get help or do anything, it is very tough. It's gut-wrenching for a lot of different reasons. Today I want to do my best to give you some suggestions on how to handle this and how to walk through this hopefully short chapter within your recovery. The first thing I would tell you to do is to work on you. I mean, I know that's kind of an oversimplification of things, but it's really the genuine truth. There were times when Samantha didn't want to do anything. Even wouldn't go meet with Rick or participate in a group or what have you. And I had to understand, look, I always have a choice to work on me. I mean, I was, reading the Bible for hours. I was reading every book I could get my hands on. I was trying to do everything that I could to just work on me. It kind of became a point where Rick even had to say to me, listen, you're kind of fixating on yourself, and it's kind of spilling over into this self-absorption. So you've got to stop being so fixated on you and start to really kind of understand how to find a better balance. And there's always a choice as an unfaithful spouse to work on you. I mean, you have to ask yourself, am I doing everything that I can be doing? Am I reading? Am I taking part in a group or a course that is an infidelity-specific approach? Am I seeing a professional counselor or a life coach that's really trained and equipped to deal with infidelity? Because if you're not, then I want to encourage you to do more. Not because it's constantly about doing more, but you are the unfaithful, and part of the process to healing is going through the journey of understanding why you did what you did. And it's going to take you several years to fully grasp all of the different reasons why you've done what you've done. Number two is I want to say this in absolutely no patronizing or condemning way. But I want to remind you that you're going to need to extend an incredible amount of compassion, mercy, and just graciousness towards your betrayed spouse. We forget, as an unfaithful spouse, that their life has been turned upside down. I mean, we really forget how traumatized they are. And if your spouse is dealing with PTSD as of a result of your affair or affairs or addiction or just general choices, you're going to have to be extremely patient because they're going to experience things that really push them to a point where it's not as though they are always in control of their response. They are dealing with some incredible struggles of heart rate, of fight or flight, and while every betrayed spouse deals with those issues, those that suffer with PTSD are at the top 1%, and you're going to have to find ways to deal with that. But I just want to remind you that they need compassion. They may be raging, they may be yelling, screaming, cussing, doing all the things that a betrayed spouse will do sometimes. And you still have got to extend patience and mercy to them because of the immense pain that they're in. That's not a license for them to abuse you. And certainly, if there's physical abuse, that's a whole nother situation. I would encourage you to call 911, to seek out professional help, and to even consider boundaries that are really ironclad in that situation. Number three, and this is going to hurt, but I have to tell it to you, remember, you're in this situation because of what you have done. I mean, you're not in this situation because of the betrayed spouse. You're in this situation because you've had an affair or multiple affairs or a one-night stand or an addiction. Your choices have brought this on. Now, sure, you may have felt A, B, and C and all that, but I just want to tell you graciously, without any condemnation, you have brought this into your marriage. And you are going to have to continue to own that and really reconcile with that. Doesn't mean that you're a terrible person, doesn't mean your life is over, doesn't mean that you don't have meaning and value and that you're not going to become a better person and that you're not going to become healed. No. It just means that, remember, and again, I say this with grace because I had to say this to myself several thousands of times throughout the early years of recovery, is that I put myself in this situation. I have to own it. The more I deny it or blame shift and all of that other stuff, minimize, all of that, the more I do that, the harder it gets for me to get healthy, the more unsafe I am to my spouse, and the longer it's going to take to heal. Rick taught me something to say to Samantha when she was upset or having a difficult time, or when she kind of hit a new level of anger or unforgiveness. And there were moments where I said to Samantha, I am forever sorry. I will do whatever it takes. And Rick really helped me to say it, but also to mean it, which was to say, take all the time that you need on this. That was hard because I'm a control freak, because I had these inclinations to think that she should have been further along than she was. There was frustration, immense frustration inside of me, but I learned how to basically say, look, take all the time that you need. I just want you to be healthy. I just want you to be healed, and I'll do whatever it takes. And when I said that to her, there wasn't like this, oh, thank you for saying that. That is, oh, Samuel, you're so kind. You're so, absolutely not. She didn't say anything, or she just was like, I don't know if you get that, but that's what Samantha would do. She would look at me with this cold, dead stare of death and just go. And my soul shuddered because of just my own issues during those times. Take all the time you need. I will do whatever it takes. Now, my last kind of point of discussion is a very difficult, very sensitive one. So, with that being said, there is a point where you as an unfaithful spouse have to ask yourself, how long are you willing to do this? What if this is the best that your marriage ever gets? I mean, perhaps your betrayed spouse will never get help, and they refuse to get help, but they still want to stay married to you. And they are just going to progress very slowly. Can you handle that? I don't know. What if they are going to continue to be angry, continue to kind of lash out, but then kind of come back to normal, and they are going to be like that for a while? What are you going to do? I don't know the answer because every situation is different, and you have to ask yourself, are you willing to ride it out? If you're not, maybe you put a fuse on it where you say, look, I'm really going to try for 2 years, and if it doesn't get any better, and if they don't get any help, I don't think I can stay in this marriage. Okay, I get it. Maybe you say, look, I put us in this situation. I'm willing to stay married to him or her for however long it takes because I did this and I'll own it the rest of my marriage and I'm going to stick in it. Okay, I get it. But I think you have to have that discussion with yourself because that's the part of really healing. That's the part of processing through why you're doing what you're doing, not just being on autopilot, not just going through the motions, but you're present in your recovery approach, constantly kind of mulling over, why am I doing what I'm doing? How long am I going to do this? My genuine hope today is that you'll go through these steps, take this journey of understanding how long you're willing to Stay in the fight, because it's different for every person. But I hope you won't give up on your own recovery, and I hope you won't give up on the fact that your betrayed spouse may not be wanting to get help right now, but they may be open to it one day.